So here we are once again. Good evening, folks. Mobile Keys are here, live with Friday Night Tech Talk, as we are every Friday. Welcome if you're new, and if you are new, we do this every Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern from the United States, and we do some of the stories that have been released or come forward in the last week since last Friday night. I try to pick stories that are either big stories, which those you've probably seen all over the place, and I try to find a few stories that are interesting to tech, that are concerning tech, and might be interesting to you and are interesting to me. So, first, let's see who's in here. Brian, I think, is the only one who got in here. Brian got in here like more than an hour ago. So, always glad that he's here. And I said, always glad you're here. Plus, usually I meant to say, teach me something or remind me of something. So, if you're new, let me direct you to my webpage, which is where the show notes are for every Friday night show. So, let me share screen. And if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, click on today's date, you'll get just tonight's show notes. And I should have them up. Okay, we're good. So let me make the screen a little bit bigger. And while we're here, I'll give you a little preview of what we're going to talk about tonight. So to me, the big story for this week was yesterday when the Moto Razr Plus came out. So I figured I'd start off with that. And I took this story from The Verge. Of course, everybody came out at the same time. And there are probably hundreds of videos out there. It looks pretty good to me. So we'll talk about that and see what you guys think. And then, of course, Monday is WWDC 2023, and Apple is going to, well, they usually talk about a lot of software stuff and not a lot of hardware. It sounds like this year it's going to be very different, and there's rumors it may be the biggest WWDC they've ever had, but they're talking about 2 solid hours, so we'll see. I'll be at work on Monday, like many of you, so I'm going to have to watch it, the replay, when I get home. I'll probably watch some of it while I'm working. But, so that'll be Monday. And, of course, we're very heavy on Apple tonight, so that's just how it came up. My next story is about the mixed reality headset that everybody's pretty sure is going to be announced at WWDC on Monday. So we'll see. Nobody's for sure, but that's the heavy rumor, and nobody's backing off that rumor. Then I found a story. This is one of those stories you may not find everywhere. Goldman Sachs and Apple Card under investigation, because Apple Card was released under Goldman Sachs. And, well, they're being investigated because a lot of their customers are not very happy. We'll get into that. And I think part of it, you could say it's because Apple Card is too successful. But you'll understand once I get into it. And then the last Apple story or iPhone story is going to be about iOS 17, which, again, it'll be announced Monday, and we'll hear all about it. But the one story I found on Tom's Guide said the iPhone display may get much smarter with iOS 17. So we'll talk about that. And then to get away from Apple and iPhone, I found a story about Microsoft Copilot, which is coming to Windows, I guess, this month. And it's supposed to be very AI heavy. So we'll talk about that. Okay, and Eleanor is here. Let me stop screen for a minute. Hi, Eleanor. Anybody who's been praying for Eleanor's feet since her operations, please keep it up. It seems to be working. She's slowly getting back to normal, so it's a very good thing. So, anybody else that wants to say anything in the comments, just type it in and comment as the show goes along. Now, of course, I'm not sure if Ted is going to be here tonight. I haven't heard from him. Probably won't hear from Mike, and even less likely to hear from Will, but I always send all of them out the link to the stream. So if they pop in, I will certainly let you know. So let's go back to sharing screen, and we'll start with tonight's stories. And I'll watch to see if anybody else pops in. Okay. So we're going to start the Moto Razr Plus. I said better, more affordable, tops the Z Flip. So it's better than any of the previous Z Flips. It's certainly more affordable. I was surprised at that, and so were some other people. And some people think this may be a real challenge for the Z Flip, which I didn't bring mine tonight. The only phones I had with me tonight were the, because you know my phones, depending on which watch I wear. So tonight, no. Let me get to where you can see me a little bit. So today I wore my Pixel watch. So of course I carried my Pixel 7 all day, and then I had my Galaxy A54. So those are the only two phones. I was kind of in a hurry when I left home, so I didn't grab any of the other phones. So I pulled this story up on The Verge, so let's check it out. The Motorola Razr Plus's new cover screen is a big deal. Moto is adding two new foldables led by the Razr Plus. Its 3.6-inch cover screen makes it more than just a nostalgic tribute to your favorite 2000 flip phone. And everybody is really loving this new outer screen. And this was by Alan Johnson just yesterday. I'm sorry, by Allison Johnson just yesterday. So there was her with her hands on. So let me get this into reader view so we can get rid of some of the ads. Okay, Motorola's new Razr foldables are official, confirming what we learned from a set of substantial leaks over the past few weeks. Just as it was foretold, the Razr Plus comes with a massive cover screen, while the standard Razr offers a much more modest screen on the front panel, and they didn't show that. The Plus will be out this month. The standard will come out later, but that's the cheaper of the two. You'll find that out as we go along. They're both coming to the U.S., which is great, though only the Razr Plus is launching this month, June 23rd to be exact, for $999. Everybody was surprised at that price, and we all think that's a very, very good price. Ted is in here. At least I think Ted is here. I saw his face for a second, and then he disappeared. Well, he's in here somehow. But we'll wait till he pops his face. You know how Ted likes to make an entrance. So let me continue with the story. He's making, I hear noise. I'll bet you hear noise too. I think he just plugged in his microphone. That's my guess. And he just muted his microphone, which is probably a good thing till he's ready. All right, I'm going to continue reading. Anyway, so it's going to be, now this is the Plus. This is going to be $999. Everybody was very pleased with that price, including me. Am I going to get it? I don't know. If I do, it's probably a month or two down the road. But still, a very good price considering what flip phones have cost up to now. So, and it says, and it's a real head turner, and you'll see it in the pictures. Let me flip back out of reader views and let you see some of those pictures. So you already saw that. See, yeah, there's more pictures. There it is compared to Flip 4, which I do have, and you can see the difference. There's a Flip 4's front screen, and there's the Razr Plus's front screen. So huge difference as far as information you can get. Let me get it back. Okay. You might have seen the specs already, but just to recap, the Razr Plus, and it's called the Razr 40 Ultra internationally, so interchangeable names. Comes with a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chipset, the flagship Qualcomm chip from last year, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 of storage, a 12 megapixel f1.5 stabilized main camera, and 5-watt wireless charging. And if people saying it's slow charging for wireless, but still, it does have wireless charging. Its outer display is a 3.6-inch OLED with a 144 hertz.
I don't have any information about that.
And Google's talking to me. All right, I hope Google stops talking to me. Okay. Its outer display, 30.6-inch OLED with a 144 hertz refresh rate, covered by Gorilla Glass Victus, and the inner OLED unfolds to a 6.9-inch 1080p panel with a 165 hertz refresh rate. It uses an ultra-thin glass display with a protective multi-layer treatment, and is also an LTPO display, so it will downshift to 1 hertz for activities like reading an ebook to save on battery life, so it'll automatically change it. Motorola ditched the large chin of the original Razr design. Seems like a lot of people love that, which is for the best. And the cover screen's 3.6-inch diagonal measures up very well against the smaller 1.9-inch display on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4, which I just showed you. Let me show it to you once more since they just brought it up. All right, so there's the Z Flip 4, and there's the Motorola. So yeah, they're making a very good point about how well it compares. It's the difference between getting a heads-up notification and being able to use a whole-ass app without opening your phone. Oh, you know what? Just take a look at the difference yourself, which I just showed you. There's a whole lot you can do with the cover screen, too. You've got the usual weather and calendar widgets and quick panels optimized for the smaller format, but you can also run almost any app like on there. Chrome, Gmail, Instagram, and YouTube all work for me when I tried them out. If you start a new email attacks, you'll have a full on-screen keyboard at your disposal. That's great. The only thing I couldn't do was open the image gallery from the camera app. That's just from this outer display. And when you open it up, it keeps the app there in front of you, which is awesome. Annette is here. Hey, Annette. On my first story, glad you're here. Annette's popping in from California, which is always awesome. I'm talking about the Moto Razr Plus that was announced yesterday. Ted is kind of in here, but he hasn't quite gotten ready yet, so we're waiting for him to show his face and to turn on his mic. So I'll let you know when that happens. Otherwise, the cover screen is basically a tiny smartphone in itself. That's true. If you have 3-button navigation set up as your system-wide preference, then that's what you'll use on the cover screen to flip between app windows. You can also choose to extend the display to fill the full bottom of the screen around the camera lenses, right around there, which is cool. Or you can toggle to a crop view with a black bar across the bottom of the screen by tapping the navigation bar. It's nice that you can choose to change it. And there's your full keyboard just on the cover display. There's a clever method for handing off apps between the main screen and the cover screen too. When you close the phone while you're running an app, a button will pop up in the corner of the cover screen that allows you to open the app on the other screen. So when you have the app on your cover screen, you open it, it stays there, and it opens on your full screen. When you're leaving your full screen, it'll give you that button. If you tap it, it'll come right back to your outer screen again. So I think that's pretty awesome. And the full keyboard too on the outside is awesome. There's a lot more to play around with, and I only had a little bit of time with the phone, but suffice to say, it's a whole different ball game compared to the much smaller screen on the Z Flip 4, which I've shown you guys. Overall, it looks and feels like the part of a style-forward high-end phone. It comes in 3 colors, and the Glacier Blue and the Infinite Black versions feature Gorilla Glass Victus, while the covetable, everybody loves this Viva Magenta. The official Pantone color of the year, if you're keeping score at home, which I'm not, offers a soft vegan leather finish. So it's not the same finish as the Gorilla Glass Victus. It's the same as on the Edge 30 Fusion, and it feels great with a little bit of extra grip in your hand. Yeah, I can see that compared to glass. Now, of course, since I do have the Flip 4, very tempting to get this. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to pick it up just to have something to compare it to. And I've never had a Moto Flip. So, all right. All 3 versions feature a sturdy aluminum frame, though they carry only an IP52 rating. So that's one place where I guess Samsung beat them out. For some resistance against dust and are merely water repellent. You could excuse it for being less water resistant than other flagship phones because it folds in half, except Samsung figured out how to make its flip and folds fully resistant to immersion in water, which is true, with an IPX8 rating. That's a bit of a concern on a $999 phone, flip or no flip. So yeah, you would have thought that since Samsung figured out how to make it fully IPX8 rating, you'd think they would have figured it out too. Maybe it just cost too much money for the price they wanted to bring it in at, because they brought it in at a great price. So that could be the answer. All 3, already read that. The hinge on the Razr Plus doesn't quite hold the screen rigid at every degree. Either it sits up fine, bent at 90 degrees in laptop mode, but there's a little mushiness as you get close to 180 degrees. It will sort of flop onto the fully up position. So it doesn't do that as well as the Flip 4. I don't find this concerning, but it's a notable difference between the Flip 4, which will hold steady at any position, and that's true, I can tell you. The standard 2023 Motorola Razr, that's the 40 internationally, that's not this one, this is the cheaper one, features the same overall size and shape, but with a much smaller cover screen. It's an entirely different kind of animal. And let's see, do we have any more pictures of that? No. I'm going to have to come out of read of you to let you take a look at that. Okay. Yeah, that's what the standard looks like. So that screen looks much more like the Flip 4. So, and of course, that's going to be cheaper. They haven't told us how much cheaper as yet. But it'll be released later on this summer. So, where am I? Okay. Its outer screen is a 1.5-inch 60 hertz OLED that's designed for quick info like calendar alerts and text checking the weather, just like the Flip 4, really. Motorola is pitching it as an alternative for people who want to spend less time looking at their phones, which, sure, don't we all? No. That's admirable, but I don't know. It just doesn't look like as much fun, obviously not. In any case, it comes with a slightly less powerful Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 chipset. So, of course, it has a cheaper chipset. A lot of people are thinking this is going to come in at like $599 or something. A bit bigger 4,200 milliamp battery, owing to the smaller screen real estate, and a 64 megapixel f1.7 main camera with OIS. It has a similar 6.9-inch inner screen with a lower 144 hertz maximum refresh rate, so not quite as good as the Plus. Wireless charging and an IP52 rating are here too, and all 3 versions of the regular Razr come with the vegan leather treatment. Color options include vanilla cream, summer lilac, and sage green. So it has 4 colors as opposed to 3. Both the standard Razr and the Plus are promised 3 years of OS upgrades and 4 years of security support, which is a little better than Motorola has done in the past, but still falls short of Samsung's promise for OS upgrades and 5 years of security support, which is very true. Motorola isn't giving a price or exact release date for standard Razr just yet, only that there will be a meaningful difference in price in MSRP compared to the Razr Plus, and that will be available in the coming months. Let me remove this for now so I can go back to this. I'll let you know when Ted comes in. Motorola isn't giving a price exactly, just only, okay, meaningful difference, okay. The Razr Plus will go on pre-sale June 16th, so we've got 2 weeks. And when it goes on sale a week later, so 16th, you can order it. I guess the 23rd, it'll be on sale. You'll only find the Viva Magenta version for sale direct from Motorola, and you guessed it, T-Mobile. Well, that's the one everybody's drooling over anyway, so I'm thinking that's a very good thing. In the meantime, I'm kind of excited about the Razr Plus, and so am I actually. Motorola seems, and I have watched 4 or 5 Mr. Mobile, MKBHD, a number of review hands-on, and they all seem to love this thing. Pardon me. Motorola seems to think it's going to capture the imaginations of fashionable trendsetters and millennials who are nostalgic for their old flip phones. I don't think there's that many millennials that are nostalgic for old flip phones. It's my guess. But still, this one's going to be hot. Personally, I think it's a device for a certain type of a mobile tech nerd who's been intrigued by the Galaxy Flip, but wish it could do more. Well, now it can to some degree. And it certainly can do a lot. I'm excited to see what it feels like to live with that big cover screen and all of its capabilities in my day-to-day. There's a risk it will all feel too fiddly, I never heard that word, for practical use. And I'm curious to see how Motorola's UI responds to the potential for rough edges. In the brief time I've used it and tried my hand typing out an email, I discovered that my thumb kept missing the tiny space key. I can see that. Is that something you adapt to, or is it forever frustrating? There's just one way to find out. So that is Motorola's Moto Z Plus. Let me get it out of review. Okay. So the Razr Plus, everybody's excited about it, including me. So still no Ted, I guess. No, he's not back yet. So let me stop screen. Oh, so Ted is talking to us in here. Good evening, guys. Who's using my name in the stream? Oh, well, he was there. So somebody was using your name, although I'm pretty sure it was you. I could be wrong. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you here. So let me go to the next story. Back to sharing screen. Back to the notes. And now we'll go down. Now, from the next 3 stories are all going to be about Apple. So WWDC 2023 looks like the most important in years, and everybody has a story. I took it from Tom's Guide, and yes, I have a few stories from Tom's Guide tonight. So let's go there. Oh, wait a minute. Let me stop screen for a minute. All right, are you here now? Okay. He is
What's up?
here. You certainly know how to make an entrance. I'll give you that.
Couldn't fool you though.
Well, you know, us old hard-nosed old folks. We're hard to fool. Oh, by the way, if anybody's seen this shirt act up, I forgot that there's green all in here. And to just do it is not Nike. This is my shirt that I bought when I went skydiving more than 20 years ago now. I went skydiving tandem like this, and when I was 55, and I went again when I was 56.
Is that you in the bottom?
Yes. Yeah, when you go tandem, you're going to be in the bottom because your teacher is always going to be on your back. Why? Because you have to make the decision to step out of the plane, not him. So you have to be in front. And believe me, stepping out of that plane it takes some doing. You kind of have to force yourself, because when you look out of a plane, especially the second time, the first time I was in a regular cargo plane, like you just walk out of the back and the back is wide open. But the second time it was a regular plane. They had to go out the side door, and the side door is looking right at the wing. And I'm thinking, we're going to jump out this wing and jump out this door and go right into that wing. It didn't happen, but that's what it looks like. So it takes even more courage to step out. But that's why the teacher is on your back, because you have to be the one to decide. They said they will never, ever push you or help you step out of that plane. You're going to make that decision, or you're not going to jump, period. And would I do it again? Yeah, probably would. I'm 78 now. But of course, you know me, I keep myself in shape to do this. So yeah, could I do it again right now? Yeah, I'd replaced my knee since then. So I'd probably do better than I did then, because I had a bum knee back in those years. So it's pretty exciting stuff anyway. I just didn't want you to think there was anything wrong, but I have green all in here, and it's a pretty big kick. I always thought it was a kick riding a motorcycle, which I still do. And riding a motorcycle to this day is still a kick. I did it the other day, but doesn't even compare to stepping out of an airplane. It's not even close. I can't think of anything that'll give you a bigger kick than that. Just my opinion. So, all right, we're on the second story, and you came in just in time for the WWDC story. You want to read it? All of a sudden I can't hear you. Talk some more. Say something. Now hear nothing.
Oh, there we go.
You figured it out.
Yeah, it switched the audio sources. Hey, by the way, do you hear an echo?
I didn't until you said that. Maybe a slight one. I don't think it's noticeable, really.
Stupid echo cancellation. All right, let me see. WWDC.
Okay, let me share screen. Let me know when you're ready, and I'm sharing screen right now. And this one is on Tom's Guide. All right, whenever you're ready, Ted.
All right. By Tom Pritchard, this WWDC 2023 could see a launch of several new Macs along with Apple's mixed reality headset. Here's what we know.
Yep.
All right.
I'm going into read of you. Well, okay. Took a minute. Yeah, we're there. All right, go ahead.
So WWDC is normally a software-focused event with Apple revealing all the ins and outs of its next-generation operating systems for phones, Macs, wearables, and more. WWDC 2023 is shaping up to be very different, and Bloomberg reporter Mark Gurman is expecting a huge range of hardware to appear at the show. Garmin has a pretty good record with his Apple insider information, and he's expecting this year's WWDC keynote to be the longest ever.
Yep. Yeah, some people are saying it's going to be at least 2 hours.
Because he claims Apple will be showing off new operating systems, the long-awaited Apple VR and AR headset, and several new Macs. Let's see. The Apple headset has been rumored to launch at WWDC for some time now. And the latest influx of leaks seem to corroborate that info. The presence of new Macs hasn't been quite so definitive the recent rumors have been inconsistent in how many Macs might appear or indeed which models.
Yeah, everybody seems very unsure about which Macs we're going to get.
So recently, Gurman tweeted that Apple will start accepting trade-ins on various Mac models on June 5th, including the Mac Studio, 13-inch MacBook Air 2, and the 13-inch MacBook Pro M2. Reading between the lines, it suggests Apple may be offering refreshed versions of all three devices and wants to encourage existing users to upgrade. Predictions for upcoming Mac models include a brand new Mac Studio. Didn't that just come out last year?
Yeah, it just came out last year. I'd love to get one, but they're just too expensive.
Designed as a stopgap for future Mac Pro updates, alongside the first ever MacBook Air 15-inch.
Yeah.
The latter would give those looking for a big screen a much more affordable alternative to the $24.99 16-inch MacBook Pro. We've asked some analysts about the possible 15-inch MacBook Air pricing, and it could be in the $12.99 to $14.99 range. 3 more unreleased Mac models have been spotted on the back end of Apple's Find My network. All right, that looks more promising. But the details on these machines
somebody
are
dug
still
that up. That's pretty smart, I think.
The M3 chip isn't expected to launch until later this year, which would undoubtedly lead to a new wave of updated Macs and MacBooks like the Mac Mini, iMac, MacBook Air, and a MacBook Pro if Apple hasn't killed off the 13-inch model already. So which models could we see at WWDC? There's always a chance that some M2 models may be released with an M2 Pro or M2 Max chip. An M2 Pro Mac Mini has been rumored for some time, with benchmarking scores leaking out at the start of the year, making it a likely candidate. And if the Mac Mini is getting a more powerful chipset, there's no reason why other devices couldn't either. Plus, Apple may consider variants with M2 Pro or M2 Max to be totally different devices, bumping up the combined total ever so slightly. But we'll have to wait for WWDC to roll around to find out for sure. In the meantime, be sure to check out WWDC 2023 Hub, as well as hubs for iOS 17, macOS 14, the 15-inch MacBook Air, and the Apple VR AR headset. I feel like this was kind of a waste of time to read.
Well, nobody seems to know which MacBooks. That's the main thing. It's all a guessing game with the MacBooks. But of course, everybody's looking up for this VR AR headset. That seems to be the big thing that
Why am I
everybody's
reading
looking
stuff on
forward to.
reading someone's guessing? I'm like, what's the point of reading someone's guessing? Waste of time. But
well, it's what some of us enjoy doing. Slow Mo Joe, welcome. First time I've seen you.
Hey, Slow Mo Joe. That's my Fitbit sparring partner. I think he's up in Australia.
Oh, okay, cool.
7:30, so it's like 7 a.m. just the morning over there. Rise and shine.
Well, I thought they'd be further because I know Renz is exactly 12 hours ahead of us. So
well, yeah, they're further in the morning.
Yeah, they're further ahead. Okay, yeah.
It's further. It's the next day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like for Renz right now, it's 8 something in the morning. So they would be maybe early afternoon, I would think, tomorrow. Wouldn't you think?
Tomorrow afternoon? Let's find out. Hey, Google, what time is it in Australia right now?
I was just going to do the same thing. You should have picked the city. Australia's a huge country. Hey, Google, what time is it in Melbourne right now?
Yeah, it's the morning.
The time in Melbourne, Australia, is 10:34 a.m. on Saturday.
All right, so they're 2 hours ahead of Renz in the Philippines. Okay, so now we've learned something.
And Slow Mo is saying 10:30 a.m. Didn't know they had multiple time zones. You had multiple time zones over there.
Yeah, Australia's huge, man. They have more than one time zone. I'm thinking at least 2, maybe 3. Hey, Google, how many time zones does Australia have?
3 separate times.
3, I was right.
According to Australian government, with a landmass close to 7.7 million square kilometers,
Australia is the world's 6th largest country and is divided into 3 separate time zones.
So I'm getting the answer on both this one. Hey, Google, stop. So I'm getting the answer on this one and on yours at the same time. And now my phone's doing it. Okay. Okay. So nothing new in the comments. Anyway, very glad you're here, Slow Mojo. Very, very
But yeah,
happy.
I will say people are holding their breath about this Apple VR headset thing.
Yeah, yeah. Now, of course, that one I won't be going for because I just
You
picked
just
up
got the
my-
Rokid.
I just got the Rokit, and I haven't.
I
even
mean,
had
that's the
a
whole
chance-
point of. I mean, usually that's the whole point of rumors to let you know, like, hey, maybe you hold off on buying something, but not you, George. You're like,
No,
my
no,
God.
because I knew I wasn't going to spend the kind of money Apple's going to ask for this thing.
you don't know how much money Apple was going to ask for.
Hey, you know that's going to be 1,500 or 2,000. It's going to be way,
I
way
don't
up
know.
there.
I don't
Trust
know
me.
what the. I don't know what the
Unless
market price
unless
for
Apple
VR
turned
headset.
into a different company overnight. Yes, I do know. Apple doesn't do anything.
Apple
cheap.
puts out affordable products every now and then.
Yeah, after they put out the expensive product for 10 or 15 years, they've never put out an affordable product day one. That's not going to happen. That'll never happen.
The what is it called? The little mini speaker. Actually, what?
I don't know the mini speaker. Will is in here. Wow, Will.
The Apple Mini, the mini
Where'd you
speaker.
get-
You know the mini speaker that Apple makes.
I don't know the mini speaker that Apple
Come
makes.
on, you know the
But
mini
since,
speaker.
since I have both Google
The
and
HomePod
Amazon,
Mini.
I don't need any other speakers.
The HomePod Mini that Apple makes. That was
Oh,
meant
the
to be
HomePod
affordable.
Mini. Okay, I got you. Yeah,
Although,
Slow Mojo
that
saying
was
that, yeah,
$100.
I have
That's
Nest Mini-
that's
I have a
$100
bunch of
though.
Nest
So maybe
Minis, and I
not
have
so affordable.
Amazon, so I didn't.
Never mind. The
Okay.
HomePod Mini was $100 when everyone
But
was
in
charging
any
like
case,
50 to 25.
there's no way in the world this AR VR headset is going to cost. I'm going to say minimum $1,500, but my guess is it's going to be well over $2,000.
Whoa.
Why? Because look at how much Meta is charging for theirs. Apple's not going to make theirs cheap. I guarantee you. So that's why I bought my Rokit at $439.
How much is
compared
Meta
to-
charging for theirs?
Oh, they're talking like 15, 16, 17, I forget what, but it's a whole lot. It's way up there.
I thought Meta was selling them at a loss. What the heck?
No, they were, but they haven't come down. They make a cheaper one, but nobody's buying that one, and nobody wants that one. So yeah, their good one is like really, really, really expensive.
Okay, yeah, that might be pro. Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So
yeah.
So anyway, that's why I got my Rokit when I did. Have I had a chance to even touch it yet? Not yet. Probably this weekend.
Slow Mo Joe has an idea on what the cost will be in the comments.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Totally agree, Slow Mojo. Okay. Glad Will said, Will, if you feel like dropping into the
But I don't know.
sh-
But yeah,
show,
that does
you
seem to
have
be
it.
it might have the power to change industries.
Which it could. All right, I'm going to go back to presenting screen and go into the next story. And we're still going to stay on Apple. Next
But to
couple
be
of
honest,
stories.
regarding all the Macs, I really don't care.
Well, yeah, since
I
I just got
really
a refurbished M1 Air, I'm good for a while, I think.
Yeah, this Mac Mini has not shown me any problems, like hardware wise.
Exactly. I've never met anybody who has a Mac Mini who didn't absolutely love it.
Unless they got one with 8 gigabytes.
Mike has one too, doesn't he?
Huh?
Mike has one too, doesn't he? A Mac Mini?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I thought so. And he loves his too, as far as I remember.
Oh, come
Okay.
on. Another rumor.
Yeah, more rumors, and we have another one coming after this. But most people like the rumors. You're the unusual one. Also on Tom's Guide. And let me go back to what I said. What
Most
I said
people
was,
love
and of
gossip,
course,
too.
we have a total mixed reality spec leak. No, this is not a rumor. This is more of a spec leak. So I guess we didn't have the full specs on this. So I said, okay, let me
Okay.
see the specs. So Apple mixed reality headset specs leak right before WWDC 2023. Here's what you get. This is by Malcolm McMillan. And this was from the day before yesterday, and I'm going into review. Okay. The finished specs of the rumored Apple VR AR headset are the talk of the tech industry right now. And while we won't know anything officially until it debuts, almost certainly, so it still is rumors, at WWDC 2023, this new display rumor is certainly an eye-opener. A tweet from Ross Young from Display Supply Chain Consultants has revealed the possible specs for the two displays inside the Apple VR AR headset. When we initially reported on this in the story yesterday about XROS sightings, the tweet appeared to be subscribers only, but now it's gone public for all to see. And according to Young's tweet, you should be able to see very clearly while wearing the Apple Reality Pro, which is great, if it doesn't blind you, and you'll understand what he means by that in a minute. The twin displays, one per eye, will be micro OLED panels, 1.41 inches in size, measured diagonally. They are also tipped to feature a pixel density, get this, of 4,000 pixels per inch and over 5,000 nits peak brightness. That's why he said, if it doesn't blind you. That would instantly make the Apple headset the king of VR headset displays. I agree. The Meta Quest 2 headset only hits around 100 nits in peak brightness, so 5,000 nits would be blinding in comparison. Yeah, that's a huge difference. The only other product reported in the range is Meta's Starburst headset, which manages around 20,000 nits peak brightness, but still a prototype. And in terms of resolution, the Meta Quest Pro can't complete. Yeah, that's the expensive one. The high-end mixed reality headset only matches 1832 by 1920 per eye, a far cry from the 4K resolution promised by Young. So the Apple should be 4K in each eye. That's pretty cool. The new leak tracks with previous Apple Reality Pro display rumors. This isn't the first time Young has promised these specs. Back in February 2022, we reported that DSCC claimed Sony was making the twin 4K displays for the Apple headset, each measuring 1.4 inches. So I guess that's true. However, there are a couple of rumored displays missing from Young's latest spec leak. First, DSCC initially promised a larger, lower resolution AMOLED display behind the twin 4K display, so more displays, to allow for foveated rendering. This would allow the headset to commit more resources to produce higher fidelity visuals, specifically where the person is looking rather than through the entire display. That's going to add to cost if that's true, but it sounds like it may not be for this one. This display may ultimately still make an appearance, so nobody knows. And it would be, so you're still getting rumors. And it would be odd for the Apple Reality Pro to forego foveated rendering, giving cheaper headsets like PSVR 2 feature it. But it was noticeably absent from Young's tweet, so nobody knows whether we're getting that or not. The other display that fails to get a mention is the rumored front-facing display. Yeah, I remember reading about that. That could allow others to see your eyes while you use the Apple headset. Yeah, when I remember reading about that weeks ago, and I thought that was cool. While Apple claims this promotes all-day wear and allows users to interact with the real world, it personally just feels like careening into the uncanny valley to me. Yeah, but nobody knows until you wear it. So I'm hoping Young's omission of the front display was intentional rather than an oversight. I doubt if it was an oversight. Either way, we won't have to wait long. You won't have to wait till Monday to see what the Apple VR AR headset will actually achieve in terms of performance. So stay tuned for our WWDC coverage to see more of Apple's potentially groundbreaking VR headset. Now, of course, everybody's expecting this to be announced Monday, but nobody's saying when we're going to actually be able to get our hands on it. My guess is that's going to be a bit down the road. Wouldn't you think, Ted?
I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be immediately available. Do you?
If they push it down further, it might affect iPhone sales.
Well, I'm thinking they might actually release it with the iPhone. That's what I was kind of
It's a
thinking.
very expensive. It's very expensive.
Yeah, can you imagine with the iPhone? Now you're talking some serious expensive to
Yeah. Like people would be like, yeah, I'm getting the VR. Let me not buy so much storage on this iPhone, or let me not get the Pro Max this time.
Yeah, you're right there. So yeah, they could be shooting themselves in the foot. So I could be wrong. Slow Mo Joe says, let's see. Oh, we got a reunion one night. Yeah, we're
Let's
waiting
do
to come
it.
in, waiting for you to come in, Will. But of course, we need Mike with you.
Well,
So,
otherwise, yeah, without Mike, let's see. You can always feel free to come in, Will. Hmm?
yeah, you can definitely come in. So my mind, we'll see in 8K. Wow, exactly. And so Samsung makes the displays. Yes, no, this is going to be made by Samsung based on what that article said. So the guy seems to know what he's talking about. So my guess is Samsung's making, and Samsung made, a lot of their displays for years and years. So no surprise there. So nothing else in the comments. All right, Ted, you
No.
going to go with the next one?
All right.
All right, let me get it up. Then this is the last Apple story, I believe.
Finally, some good drama.
Well, and now this one does have some good drama because this is the story I picked because I haven't seen it anywhere else, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. So I said Goldman Sachs and Apple Card under investigation, and you'll find out why. And this is from Apple Insider. So whenever you're ready.
Actually, Joe has a question. He wants to know. He's wondering if Apple is gonna calibrate these. Is Apple gonna design these displays, or is it Samsung?
No, as far as I know from the article, Samsung's going to do the displays. I already answered that.
Okay. I guess it's like a question of, is Samsung just fabricating them, or
no? I'm thinking Samsung's made them. Remember, Samsung made
or is Samsung, designing it for them and then?
No, I'm thinking Samsung's make them. I mean, Samsung has made displays for Apple for years and years, so why not? If they want the best, you got to go with Samsung, which is they probably want the best. He says,
is Samsung the best for micro OLED though?
Huh?
Is Samsung the best for micro OLED? Micro LEDs. I mean, micro LEDs. I thought that was LG.
Samsung's the best for anything display wise. Everybody knows. Nobody's ever come close to matching them. So I think they're still the best for any displays.
I thought LG was the best for micro LEDs, LED tech.
Have the built-in cameras blur offensive items. I'm trying to follow this, or people the user
that's horrible
does not want to see. Oh, blur offensive. I wouldn't think it might. I don't know.
Whose deal with LG says otherwise? Who has the deal with LG?
Yeah, their deal with LG recent. Oh, that's right. I did see something about. I can't remember where I saw it about LG, but I thought that wasn't for this. That was for something else. And I can't remember what it was there. I saw it a couple of days ago, but I don't remember what it was.
One-word answers.
So I guess he looked it up. He said Samsung. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. I think that LG deal is for something else, but I can't remember what. I don't think it's for these AR glasses, though. Anyway, so whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. Apple Card's explosive growth blamed for Goldman Sachs trouble. Hold on, update. Slow Mo Joe saying it was for the OLED TV.
Oh, see, yes, I said it. I knew the LG was for something else. Yeah, I saw it too. I just couldn't remember what it was for. I knew it had. I was pretty sure it had nothing to do with the AR VR headset, though. So we're good. Okay.
So Wesley Hilliard, the rapid expansion of Apple Card reportedly led to a wave of disputed transactions, which Goldman Sachs says were mishandled by outside vendors. Goldman Sachs.
So what this says to me is they're a victim of their own success. This thing was so popular that they had to outsource it to outside vendors and they screwed it up. That's what that first sentence is.
Goldman Sachs is under investigation by Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB,
Yeah.
surrounding customer complaints about Apple Card. Customer report receiving conflicting information or long wait times when attempting to dispute a purchase or request a refund. I'm gonna have to request a refund. Shoot, I might have to request a refund on a purchase I just made. Who did I make it with? I think it was Discover. Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
According to a CNBC report, people spoke anonymously about the issues surrounding Apple Card at Goldman Sachs, and detailed how things evolved. The influx of customers seeking chargebacks was unexpected, and the company turned to automation and outside vendors to manage the crush.
Yeah, so they're too successful.
We were making the case that we have a seamless way to dispute transactions, one source said, but we got no credit for the front end, and we had some failures on the back end.
This is what happens when you have to outsource, when you're forced to outsource.
They were too good, like they were too
Yeah.
good to a fault. These issues were compounded by the use of business process organizations, or BPOs. Goldman Sachs relied on 3 of these companies to manage customers.
So yeah,
But-
they were forced to outsource because they couldn't handle the load. That makes sense. They didn't expect it to be this popular, obviously.
But the BPO industry is known for high turnover rates and undertrained employees.
Which
by
is
the
what
way,
you'd expect.
If you're thinking about working for PSF Web, my Dallas sites, don't.
Okay.
Anyway,
Hey,
customer calling it
I
to
retired from programming 7 years ago, so I'm good.
I don't think that's what they meant by
Okay.
business processor. I think they meant like more call center customer
Okay.
service. Customer calling in to get help. Customer calling in to get help. We're getting inclusive answers, and in some cases,
Inconclusive.
requested refunds were denied inadvertently. In February, Apple reached out to users who had claims dismissed to give them a chance to resubmit the disputes. Neither Goldman Sachs nor Apple commented officially on the report. However, internal sources say that Apple Card's rapid growth was a major factor in creating these issues. For instance, Apple Card users reportedly doubled to 6.4 million users by May 2021 and may have nearly doubled again since. Whoa.
So as I said, a victim of their own success. They didn't expect this kind of rush. And you check that previous paragraphs. They reached out to customers who had claims dismissed to give them a chance to resubmit. So imagine you had a claim. Now you waited probably weeks for them to deny your claim, and now they're saying, okay, let's go do it again. I can imagine their frustration. Now, of course, I only wanted to put one story up about this, but I had another story where a guy said it took him 2 months to get a refund. So they're having some serious issues. And I'm thinking this is not Apple's fault. This is Goldman Sachs' fault because they're the ones doing the outsourcing here. And they're obviously outsourcing to the wrong people. And they're obviously in some kind of panic mode, is my guess. So that's what I think the problem is here.
Also, yeah, they made it must be really easy to, what's it called, dispute a charge on an Apple Card then.
It's probably
you don't have to call anyone. Like on Chase Signature, you have to call in.
Well, I mean, people could be calling in, but maybe Goldman Sachs makes it easy to call in. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, let's see. Will has an Apple Card, right?
Well, let us know if you've had to.
When you had to dispute that OnlyFans charge, did you have to call in?
I think his wife would have something to say about that.
To my when you had to dispute that the OnlyFans are charged to my account. Did you have to
exactly slow mo Joe?
There, that I said that for his wife's sake.
Oh, there's Keith. Keith was our other partner out in Vegas 5 years ago. Glad you're here, Keith. Third-party vendors is a recipe for data breaches. Yeah, I was a programming contractor for 15 years. So I can tell you there's a lot who are not the most detailed people in the world. Okay. Elbow cough, preach it, brother. Okay, Slow-Mo Joe. What else did he say? If you slap the Apple name on anything, you get too much to say. He's probably right. Maybe Apple should just buy Goldman out. They could, I'm sure. Okay. So, like I said, the victim of their own success, but Goldman Sachs needs to get this stuff underway because now they're under investigation. I would think the next thing that's going to happen is some kind of mass suit.
Oh, a
'Cause
mass suit.
That would have to be the next
Ooh.
step, you know.
On a credit card. Ooh, a mass suit. They would have to pay $1 million. Ooh, customers might only get what, $4? Ooh.
Depends on what lawyers you get. I think that has a lot to do with what lawyers you get. You get a lawyer with enough clout, somebody's gonna make some real money here. That's my guess.
Yeah. A lawyer with more clout means he gets more money. The lawyer gets more money, not
I'm
the.
thinking if you get a lawyer with enough clout, he's gonna get you more money too.
He'll get him more money.
I said two. I said two also. You know, a lawyer never does bad by getting the client more money. Yeah, lawyers like to make a lot of money, but they're never going to do better than when they make a lot of money and their clients make a lot of money because of them. You can't beat that combination. So that will hurt them. Wink, wink. Well, it might. All right, I got one more story here. So let me go back to my screen. We're going quick for two of us being here tonight. All right.
Speaking of, did you ever get a check for the battery gate? Because I haven't received mine. Oh, you didn't sign up for yours, did you?
No, I did not.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Whenever I see there's going to be $25, $35 payout, I'm not going to bother. I am not
What?
going to. I'm not going to bother.
30.
I'm not-
Okay. Usually it's like, $7 or $10 or 12, but
But
30
I've
bucks.
I've seen. Yeah, I'm not going to bother for $30. I'm not going to aggravate.
That is
myself.
a free meal at Shake Shack
I don't
with
go
a
to
milkshake.
Shake. I don't go to Shake Shack.
You don't go to Shake Shack?
No. I don't go to Shake Shack. I don't use MVNOs. There's certain chintzy, cheap things I don't do. Shake Shack.
Cheap things. Shake Shack? Why are you saying cheap and Shake Shack in the same sentence?
First of all, there are no Shake Shacks here, so I think that's a Western thing. I don't think that's an Eastern. There's certainly none in Tennessee that I know about.
There's some in Texas. They're in the central zone now.
Let's take a look. Let me go take a quick look. Let's see.
Let's see, $30. What is that? A Sam's Club membership? Maybe for the month.
Shake Shack locations.
That is YouTube Premium for 3 months. That's
Well,
Netflix for 2
that's
months.
true.
It's Netflix for 2 months.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, they're in Athens, Georgia. Where is this? Oh, there's one in Cleveland. I had no idea. I was in Cleveland today. I can get to Cleveland from here in 10 minutes.
That
So
is
you're
$30.
right.
That is one article of cycling shirt on sale.
I already have 15 cycling shirts. I don't think I need any
Slow-Mo
more.
Joe would say, 2 months of Netflix with no password sharing.
Do you know I've never watched 1 minute of Netflix in my entire life?
That's a shame. You haven't seen Squid Games?
You know how I am about subscriptions. I pay as few subscriptions as I possibly can. To me, it's
too.
not worth it to me to have to pay Netflix every month.
I mean,
And
you don't have to pay them every month. It's, when you see something you like, just, pay it. And then all right, watch it for the month, then stop.
that's too much. That's too much trouble for me. Sorry.
Yeah, it kind of is. Unless you just use net gift cards. But yeah, it is kind of too much
Yeah,
trouble.
if you use gift cards, then I think you're good to go. That makes perfect sense to me. Let's see. Slomo just says no. I've never used an MVNO in my life. I don't think I ever will use an MVNO in my life. I went from
What's wrong with an
12
MVNO?
I went from 12 years with Sprint to now, I think 13 or 14 years with T-Mobile. I
And
don't ever see
considering that
myself
there's
going to an MVNO. Just not going to happen.
not even Google Fi.
No, I have the fastest internet in the world right here in Chattanooga. Why would I go with Google Fi?
In case you get you want to get around and use your data abroad with no, worries.
Yeah, and when am I going abroad again? I mean,
I
come
don't
on
know.
now. Probably no time soon.
With Slow Mo Joe, yeah, George doesn't want to use an MVNO because he's a snob. Look, drinks the tea with the pinky out.
It wouldn't be the first time I've been called a snob. It just doesn't bother me very much. I even on my job, my last programming job at Blue Cross, I was accused by other people with degrees of using too many big words in my normal conversation. That's true. I've had people with degrees tell me that, which I think is ridiculous.
George only accepts the finest of carrier networks on his cell phone.
No. Once I find one that I'm pleased with, I just stick with it. And in the last 13, 14 years, here in Chattanooga, T-Mobile has just gotten better and better and better. When I started with T-Mobile, when I was still at Blue Cross, they weren't so hot, but they kept getting better year after year after year. So I can't complain.
Wait, is that why you didn't want to get the Spider-Man movie for $5? It was too cheap.
I don't. I'm only into the live action Spider-Man. I'm not into the cartoon stuff at all. And I think this British kid that plays Spider-Man now, what's his name? You remember his name?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. I think he's by far the best Spider-Man ever. Even though the other two were great in the last movie. But Tom Holland, to me, let's put it this way. Eleanor and I are big Marvel, huge Marvel fans. And Captain America was always my guy until Tom Holland came along. Now it's Captain America and Spider-Man because to me, he's that good.
I think Tobey Maguire's still my guy.
Oh, I think Tobey Maguire's not even in the same league with Tom Holland. I was shocked when I found out that he was British because he sure can't hide that accent.
All the British actors can hide their accent well.
Yeah, a lot of them are very good at that. I got to give them that. Anyway, he's very convincing to me, and to me, he's by far the best Spider-Man they've ever had. And I've been a Marvel fan since I'm talking comic books. Since I was in my 20s, I had a huge Marvel collection of comic books. So I've been a Marvel fan for a long time. Now, for Eleanor, it'll always be Iron Man. She just loves Iron Man.
Let's see.
She has watched the Iron Man movie so many times. She'll say the lines with him as he's speaking them in the movie.
What's her favorite Iron Man movie?
I believe
Which one is the series?
I believe it's the first one. Eleanor, if you're still here, let me know if I'm wrong. I think her favorite is the first one, but it might be the second. But she loves the third one. She loves them all. I came in the other day. She was watching the third one again. The third one, I think, is one of the weaker ones. That's just my opinion. But I love Iron Man too, obviously.
All right, let's co-pilot, a new way to work. That's what I'm talking about.
You gonna read this?
All right. Looks like Joe's favorite one is the first.
Oh, yes. And mine also.
The first was so good, they used it again for Doctor Strange, I hear.
How do you mean they used it again?
The same story premise.
Oh, Doctor Strange. I thought the first Doctor Strange was by far the better of the movies they've made. Just my opinion.
Yeah, but they said that they copied the same plot as Iron Man.
Yeah,
for first Doctor Strange.
Well, it wasn't the same plot because he didn't have a suit when he went over to when he went overseas, to get healed and everything. But yeah, I never saw it that way. But I miss stuff. So what do I know?
Like
whenever-
Doctor Strange, he was a dick, like Tony Stark in the beginning of the movie.
well, that's true, but he wasn't
Then
as
trouble befell him.
no, but he
and
wasn't
he has
like
to
Tony. He
use
wasn't like Tony Stark because Tony Stark was a huge playboy. He wasn't a huge playboy. His work was above everything, and he was smarter than everybody else,
yeah.
and
He
better
wasn't
than
a playboy,
everybody.
but he was a dick. He was a dick.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
He was a joke.
I always thought the growth that Tony Stark had as a person, they did brilliantly because he kept getting better and better and better as a person. I thought they did a great job there. Now, to me, one of the weaker characters in the entire series is Thor. I find like every other Thor movie sucks, in my opinion, including the first one. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I think the best one was the last one, Ragnarok. That was the best one.
The Ragnarok wasn't the last one. The last one was the one where she got all the power and then she died of cancer, which I didn't go watch. Neither did Eleanor.
Oh, Love and Thunder. Like I didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Eleanor didn't want to go see it, which surprised me. But so neither one of us have seen that one. When I can rent it, I'll probably just rent it, just so I can say I've seen it. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right.
Microsoft Copilot is what Google Assistant on Chrome OS should have been. AI is coming to Windows 11, but it should have come to Chromebooks first. Oh my God. I guess this is going to be filled with shade.
Well,
by
Andrew
Andy
Myrick
Merrick.
is a good writer, so he usually knows what he's talking about. Okay.
You might have not have known this, as it's not usually in the wheelhouse here at Android Central, but the Microsoft Build Developer Conference is currently taking place. As you might suspect, there's a lot of talk surrounding AI and how Microsoft is planning to integrate Bing Chat into different pieces of software.
Oh, and I
There are a
should
lot-
mention this story is from May 24th, so just so you're aware of that. Sorry.
Let's see, there are a lot of things that we could dissect about what is being announced at Build, but we'll leave that for our compadres over at Windows Central. What grabbed my attention was the announcement of Microsoft Copilot, which is slated to arrive in Windows 11 later this year. Microsoft Copilot essentially seems to be a reincarnated version of Cortana and is described as a centralized AI assistant for customers. Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, me too.
Once it's made available, Copilot will be accessible from a button on the taskbar and will be able to do everything from answering questions, switch over to doc. This is what the Google Assistant does on the taskbar in Chrome OS. What's the problem?
I guess
As-
it'll do it a lot better as an AI. That's my guess.
As for the much more part, Copilot isn't just for interacting with the system settings on Windows 11, but it's basically Microsoft's way of bringing Bing Chat to the masses without needing to open up Microsoft Edge or another app. So you'll be able to ask it a quick question and get it to answer right from the Copilot sidebar. Like this is what Google Assistant does now. So where does
I
Chrome
think
OS
that's-
fall into this?
Yeah.
You can already access Assistant and Search using everything button on your Chromebook, but there are still a few limitations. For one, Copilot is also bringing the new Bing Chat plugins that have recently been announced. Once available, you can use Copilot to order yourself some dinner or ask it for some playlist recommendations. Then have Spotify open the one that you choose.
Now, I like that you can make playlists for Spotify and have
None
it
of
do it.
this is possible with what you can do on Chromebooks and Chrome OS. Damn.
There you go.
Wow. You can do it on phones though, and on the home products. So why can't you do it on
He wants it on a Chromebook. Okay.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, I can see the shade now. Okay, I can see where he's ticked.
Okay.
At I/O 2023, Google had a lot to say about AI, but instead focused more on how it plans to integrate Bard into its own workspace apps. Bard is also being upgraded in a few other ways, as Google is also planning to offer plugins for its users. Where
And
Microsoft,
he is right because they spent 45 minutes like just talking about Bard.
so where Microsoft already has a leg up is that in addition to announcing Copilot and plugins for Bing Chat, these will be available sooner than you might expect. The company is expected to launch Copilot for Windows 11 this month,
Yeah,
June.
so that's pretty cool.
which will likely coincide with Bing Chat when Bing Chat will get plugin integration. I really can't help but feel as though Google missed an opportunity, compounded by the fact that Chrome OS wasn't even mentioned on stage at I/O. Instead, the only news we learned about Google's operating system was app streaming, which is something that's already possible on Windows if you have a Samsung phone via link to Windows. What's app streaming? Can you click on the app streaming thing? I don't remember what that app streaming was.
Say it again.
Can you click on the app streaming?
Oh, click on.
I
Okay.
don't remember what it was.
How to stream apps from your phone to your Chromebook. Okay. Yeah. Which you can do with any Samsung.
Yeah, no,
Makes
never mind.
sense. Okay.
In some regards, Google's decision to play it safe with all these innovations in the AI space is the right one, at least when it comes to ethics and making sure that these types of tools are actually ready for the consumer world. But it's tough to ignore what Microsoft is doing with Bing Chat, let alone with what's already possible with ChatGPT. However, Google is taking notes, and we will see similar functionality on Chromebooks and Chrome OS in the future.
So I think he makes a good point because, I mean, Microsoft jumped out ahead of Google on this stuff anyways. So if Copilot makes it even better, I think Google's going to be panicking again like they were for weeks.
Let's see. Let's see.
Let's see.
Let me find out.
Calamity.
What
What will be Apple's response?
What is Apple's
guess-
response to all this AI talk?
I haven't heard much at all. I saw some story, but I can't think of what it was now. I see too many stories. I'm always, when I'm at work, especially when I'm sitting in the back of the car when I'm being driven around by somebody else, I'm always researching stuff. Does Ready for have app streaming? Ted, you would know that since you have my phone. Does Ready for have app streaming?
Checking.
I thought you would have known by now.
I don't have Windows to do the app streaming or
Oh,
Chrome
okay.
OS.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When you send it back, I'm going to have to use Ready for because I will have been shamed into it by you.
All right. PC or tablet, make the most of your smartphone with Ready for PC. I think with that, then I can just do while using the app. Yep, go ahead.
He
Yeah.
almost said, yeah, I was going to say he almost said yes. Okay. Yeah, he did say yes.
As long as you go to as long as you go to you have to download the app though for the Windows thing for Windows. But yeah,
Okay.
it does.
Cool. Very good. Okay, so we've gotten through our stories. Glowing rectangles. My turn, or you want to do it as usual? I know you like to do it. You want to do it?
Actually, let's do a bonus one. You got the story for that I sent you on Telegram about the Amazon Prime members subscription?
I didn't. It was too much to read. I was at work when you sent that. I didn't have time to read all of that.
It wasn't too much to read. I even posted the article on the thing on the chat.
I know. That's what I said. The article was too much to read. I was working today. Remember, I always work Thursday and Friday.
All right, hold on.
If you send it to me in private chat, I'll pull it up.
No, I'll put it on the Reddit.
Okay.
Where are you? There you are. Oh, yeah, I'll do it then.
Okay.
Just a moment, guys. Just doing a late minute submission to the glowing rectangle subreddit.
Okay. All right, I'm pulling it. I've got it pulled up.
I just need that. Oh my gosh! Speaking of news, something we didn't talk about was you heard about Reddit charging API pricing, charging for APIs?
Didn't hear a thing about it. No.
Oh, it's a sad.
They're already doing it, or they're talking about it.
They're talking about, starting to charge, Reddit clients, people who make apps to browse Reddit.
Yeah.
They're going to charge them. It's not going to be for free anymore. It's basically what Twitter's doing, and no one is liking Twitter doing that. So we're going to see how it
Oh,
affects.
yeah. Nobody likes getting charged for stuff that used to be free. That's the thing. Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a fan of tech news, tech toys, tech things in general, well, why don't you come on over to the reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles. It is a subreddit, a community, that's a subreddit,
Yep.
where users with the same interests like you share stories, tech stories, that they find interesting. So they don't get told by an algorithm what they should have interest in. So again, that URL is www.reddit.com/r/glowing rectangles. Aha. And then if we go there, boop, boop, boop,
I'm
you will
clicking on
see-
top now. Is that okay?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
And if we go ahead and check out the top stories for today,
And he's on. That's 2 weeks in a row. He's number one.
yeah, because Friday
Yeah.
show, yeah, it tracks. But as you see, what's his name? Tech Alter with his Friday checkout. It looks like his feature story is the bill of materials for the Galaxy S23 is $469.
So I can
Now-
see why they charge what they did for the phone. At least to me, it makes sense.
Well, actually, funny enough, it's actually cost less than the Galaxy Note 20 a few years back.
Okay. What I think makes them more able to charge more, even though they're paying less to build it, is Apple. Apple has raised prices enough that Samsung is just kind of going along with it, and people are okay with it. That's my guess.
You might be onto something there, because he does say in the video that overall people spending more than $500 on a smartphone, so they're in the
Right.
premium range.
Exactly.
It's actually increased by like 10% over the past 3 years.
and that's all been
People are
driven by
pretty
Apple.
comfortable spending more expensive phones.
Yep.
But overall, though, like in terms of the ultra premium smart market, like the Galaxy S23 Ultra is like number 4 after
Yeah.
a whole bunch of iPhone 14s.
Right.
By the way, next story. Oh, what's this? Hold on, let me see that ad real quickly. I don't ever get ads like that. Go.
Who is
Can you
this?
scroll up again?
The ad is always the second thing. Always.
Oh,
I've
go
never-
back. Oh, let me see that. Yeah, click on that.
You want to see the ad?
Yeah,
I'm not clicking on the ad.
give it an upvote too while you're at it.
I'm not giving it an upvote either.
This is important stuff. A professionally designed weapon for tool, which I want a professionally
I'm
designed
not
weapon.
clicking on. You're going to have to go back and look it up yourself. I am not helping them with an ad, and I'm not upvoting the ad.
All right, I got that. Why? It helps out the subreddit, I think. I don't know. I doubt.
Who is this? I know him. I know him. Who? I used to follow him. Who?
The second story of the day: 2G cell phone networks still work on T-Mobile, and he's
I thought
using
they weren't
a
supposed to
Razr
work
in
anymore.
2023.
Who is he? I used to follow him. I'm sure I did.
I suspect you're thinking about Phone Dog, which I don't think that's him.
Yeah, maybe you're right. No, didn't mean to do that. Okay.
But yeah, if you have a 2G phone that you want to getting the inkling to use, you're gonna have to hop on a T-Mobile and use it.
I'm shocked that they're still allowing the 2G to work. I thought that
Yep.
had stopped a while ago.
And then the third top story today is from TK Bay.
Yeah, I saw this. I haven't had a chance to look at. But see, yeah, he uses an e-bike, in my opinion, the right way. If you're using it to commute, and like you do, that's what an e-bike is for. Other than that, if you're getting a bike for exercise, in my opinion, you have no business getting an electric bike. Otherwise, you're not exercising. You're just pushing a button. That's not exercise. I have 2 bikes and neither one of them are electric because I'm out here to exercise. So when I do 18 miles on my bike, I do 18 miles on my bike. When somebody with bicycles says they did 18 miles, you don't know how many miles they did. Maybe they did 2 miles and the rest was all electric. That's not exercise. That's just laziness, in my opinion.
You know, actually, I might be souring on the e-bike thing. I might actually just get a scooter altogether.
No, but you do use it to go to work, right?
I mean, yeah, I have a bicycle, and I do use the bicycle, to
Yeah, but my
commute
point
in
is you
general.
didn't buy the bicycle to exercise. People that buy a bicycle to exercise, in my opinion, have no business having anything electric. Otherwise, you're late. To me, you're just lazy.
Yeah,
I'm very.
but
You can see I'm very heated on this.
yeah.
I've
But
been
yeah, I'm actually
exercising
thinking of, like,
for
instead of just
42
getting an
years,
e-bike,
so
I'm just probably gonna go get a scooter, which would be even less work.
yeah, but you're not in it to work. You're in it to go to work. That's a huge
Yeah, to
difference
commute,
to me.
to save the
Yeah.
world, save the planet.
I agree. So it's a
But
huge difference to me. Since I've been
yeah,
exercising for 42 years, I am not very, I'm not going to give people a break when they're too lazy to exercise when they say they're exercising. No, you're not.
but yeah, he's got this Magicycle. Yeah, that's a very cringe name, but
I
it
didn't
looks
get a
very
chance
heavy.
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but yeah, if TK Bay does it, I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
It looks
Let's
very
see.
heavy, that e-bike.
Somo Joe says that's like my brother. He watches the ads on Instagram, even likes and comments. Weird. That is weird to me. But hey, we're all different. That's what makes the world go round. So that's good. Okay.
How much is your website again, George?
I don't remember. It's very little. A year, you mean? It's
Yeah,
something. I'm thinking it's 17 something a year. It's under $20. It's because
And
it's
it's
on WordPress too, but it's under $20.
so you're just paying for the domain.
Yes. Yeah, that's the only thing I pay all year long. So every February I pay that.
Okay. Well, then that's all this really is. Let's scroll filtered for the week, please.
Oh, okay.
Although it's kind of unfortunate, our stream hasn't made the top 3 today, but I suppose we just
week.
started 2 hours ago, an hour
Yeah,
ago.
that's what I say. We've been lucky. That's all. All right.
Hey, this is the feature story. Oh, hold on, get out.
This is the one you wanted, right?
Yep. Watching it, I wasn't really expecting anything, but if it was something good was gonna come, this should be it.
It's got 17 upvotes, so yeah.
Hold on, wait, scroll down a little bit, please. Something interesting. Scroll down, let me see.
In the story or past it?
Past the story.
Oh, okay.
What'd she say? Too far. You gotta go back up. Retirement inequality. Oh no. Block up. George, click on the link. What is it saying?
You're talking to somebody who doesn't even believe in separate races. That ain't happening. You're talking to somebody who's benefited extremely well and who certainly is not a victim of anything. So, yeah, I'm not clicking on that either.
But you deserve to retire with dignity, George, regardless of your race.
I agree, but what's Black Americans have to do with it then? And first of all, I'm a Bible
I bet it's
believer.
actually going to be like it's actually it's probably more like 50% of Americans don't have savings to retire.
Adam and Eve, which means he only made one race. Eleanor, me, and a whole lot of pastors I know do not recognize there's more than one race. I certainly don't.
Okay,
and
but
I certainly don't feel any affiliation towards blacks anymore, or as nearly as much as I have this affiliation for other Christians, because my family of God comes above anything else.
Okay,
That's
but they all have to retire, right? Can we see about what it's saying about the
No, they all probably really. I'm retired for 7 years, but I'm also working because I want to.
All right, hold on.
I'm not clicking on it, so
yeah, I'm just getting the URL. Retire inequality. Okay, how come you get the interesting ads and I just get bupkis?
I guess because I won't click on them. I guess that's the only thing I can think of.
All right, let's go back up, please.
Okay, now back to the to today's.
Yeah, the feature presentation. Brian gave you $1 to help with your retirement.
Oh,
for the
Brian,
retirement.
thank you, sir. Brian is
To stay
always so
retired in
generous.
dignity. Thank you, Brian.
I've been retired for 7 years and almost 7.5 years now. But I'm the type of person, and yeah, and I'm unusual, I understand, in that I'm the type of person who, even though I'm retired, I'm still contributing because I still pay taxes. If I was retired and not contributing, I'd feel guilty as all get out. So that's just me, though. Because I know I have friends that I grew up with that, well, I busted my butt for, 30 years. Well, so what? You should do it till the day you die. That's how I look at it. But that's just me. I always want to contribute till the day I die. I will try to do that. One reason I exercise so much.
Well, that's the generation that raised George. They didn't have the benefits
No,
of
no,
pensions
that's
and
not it.
retirement.
Because the guys that I said retired and busted their butt and don't want to do anything anymore, these guys were all raised with me. So I'm the unusual one here. I'm also the unusual one that I'm in better shape at 78 than I was
But
at
the
30.
previous two generations, like before you, they didn't. They were, retirement thing wasn't a thing for them. Like they just worked till they died, right?
No, my father was retired for 15 years before he died, and he didn't work at all, other than going to everybody's house and help them fix everything.
All right. Oh, sorry. The story. Hey, what happened to it?
Oh, I thought you wanted me to go back to today. So am I back to this week or where am I?
Yeah, this week.
Okay. All right. So we're back at the top with the 17.
Oh
Yes?
my gosh, Joe, you didn't have to do that, but thank you.
Oh, Joe, very kind. Don't tell Joe he didn't have to do that. Thank you, Joe. That's very, very kind of you. Appreciate it very, very much.
Let's see. Do you want to read it or shall I?
Where am I? Oh, the whole story?
Yeah, it's a post.
okay.
It's very short.
Okay. Let me click on it first, see if I can get the whole. Okay. I had a call with Reddit to discuss pricing. Bad news for third-party apps. Yeah, this is what you were telling. They announced pricing is close to Twitter's pricing, and Apollo would have to pay Reddit $20 million per year to keep running as is.
20 million per year.
Who's Apollo? That's a developer?
Apollo is a Reddit app that's on iOS and it's on
Okay.
iOS. And I
Okay.
think it's this little icon right here. It's this.
Okay, here's the rest. Hey, all, I'll cut to the chase. 50 million requests cost $12,000, a figure far more than I ever could have imagined. Apollo made 7 billion requests last. Wow, which would put it at about $1.7 million per month. That's a lot of money, or 20 million US dollars per year. Even if I only kept subscription users, the average Apollo user uses 344 requests per day, which would cost $250 per month, which is over double what the subscription currently costs. So I'd be in the red every month. Makes sense. I'm deeply disappointed in this price. Reddit iterated that the price would be a reasonable and based in reality. Yeah, it sure doesn't sound like it. And B, they would not operate like Twitter. Yes, they changed their mind. Twitter's pricing was publicly ridiculed for its obscene price of $42,000 for 50 million tweets. Reddit is still $12,000. Reddit is still $12,000. For reference, I pay Imgur, a site similar to Reddit, I've heard of them, in user base and media, $166 for the same 50 million API calls. Yeah, that's a lot more reasonable. As for the pricing, despite claims that it would be based in reality, it seems anything but. Less than 2 years ago, they said they crossed 100 million in quarterly revenue for the first time ever. So they're making more money and they're getting greedier. Why am I not surprised? If we assume, despite the economic turndown, that they've managed to do that every single quarter now, and for your best quarter, you've doubled it to 200 million. Let's also be generous and go far above the industry estimates and say you made another 50 million in Reddit premium subscriptions. That's 550 million in revenue per year. Let's say an even 600 million. In 2019, they said they had 430 million monthly active users. And to be generous, let's say they haven't added a single active user since then. Yeah, that is generous. If we do revenue per user calculations, the more users, the less revenue each user would contribute. So he's being very generous. So at generous estimates of 600 million and 430 in monthly active users, that's $1.40 per users per year, or 12 cents monthly. These own numbers they've given are also seemingly in line with industry estimates as well. For Apollo, the average user uses 344 requests daily. That's interesting, or 10.6 thousand monthly. But the proposed API pricing, the average user in Apollo would cost $250, which is 20 times higher than a generous estimate of what each user brings Reddit every year.
Right now, Apollo charges. They have a subscription, Apollo Ultra, where it charges you $13 a year, which comes out to about like $1.08.
Well, that's
A dollar
good. So that's pretty
$0.08 a month.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah.
Okay. While Reddit has been communicative and civil throughout this process, well, that's good, with half a dozen phone calls back and forth that I thought went really well, I don't see how this pricing is anything based in reality or remotely reasonable. I hope it goes without saying that I don't have that kind of money or would even know how to charge it to a credit card. This is going to require some thinking. I asked Reddit if they were flexible on this pricing or not, and they stated that it's their understanding that no, this will be the pricing. So they're not understanding, and I'm free to post the details of the call if I wish. Good. Christian, for the uninitiated wondering what the heck an API is, well, I think we all know what an API. You want me to read the rest?
Oh no, you don't need to describe what an API is.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, he sounds like they're pretty out of line with being reasonable, I would say. Sure, sounds like it anyway. So like you said, like I said, they're making more money and they're getting greedier, but it's like a lot of companies end up doing the same
It sounds
thing,
like
right?
he can do it though. I mean, like, you know, the developer, the Apollo developer, like he just has to kill the free version and then double the price on the subscription. Make his app only subscription.
But if he
based.
kills the free version and doubles the price, isn't that going to piss a lot of people off, or am I crazy? I don't know.
It certainly will.
which
It's
means
guaranteed to do that.
Which means he might end up making less money rather than more money, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I mean, with the increased price, and if enough people stay.
If enough people stay. That's a big if, I would think.
It's a big if. He might break even.
Well, why? I don't think that should be his aim.
He might break even.
Yeah, I'm on his side on this
because this is all based on the usage right now of because right now the Redditors on average it's about $2.08 he was saying,
right?
So yeah, he could break even. He could make a little bit of money.
Or he could
make
go
a little bit of
broke.
money.
Or
He might even make a little
broke.
bit of money. He might make a little bit of money.
He could go broke. I wouldn't call that a good planning for the future. Just my opinion.
I mean, Evernote did the same thing. Evernote
and who uses Evernote anymore? I used to use Evernote. Who uses it anymore? I don't know anybody uses it.
Yeah,
now.
I left Evernote when they did that. Like when they seriously killed the free version and then they increased the prices of the of the subscription. Yeah, that's when I left.
Everybody I know did the same thing. Let's see. Brian finally said, "What's up, Will?" And Milton B. Milton, welcome. Your name is new to me. Milton Curitiba, Brazil. Glad to have you here. Do you guys think Apple will release an AR device? Yeah, we did it in our first story. The WWDC is on Monday, so everybody's thinking they're going to release that device this coming Monday. So tune in. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Monday. Do you think Apple will release something like Windows Copilot for app for Mac OS? I wouldn't think so. What do you think, Ted?
No.
Yeah, neither one of us think so. But yeah, the AR device, my guess is tune in on Monday, and you're probably going to hear about it at WWDC. Now, when they're actually going to release it, they don't say, but everybody thinks they're actually going to announce it on Monday. How much it's going to cost, that's the big question everybody's wondering. So thanks for asking, Milton. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you subscribe. We're here every Friday night at the same time. And oh, you're welcome very much, sir. And please come back. And you can also follow me, Mobile Geezer, on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, where I post a lot of stuff about my exercise. I'm an old man, so I exercise a lot. And I post a lot of pictures that I take too on all three of those platforms. So anyway, glad you're here. So we're done with our stories for tonight, folks.
Yeah, that's it. Did we do it in record time? We did it
No,
in an
well-
hour and 30.
Yeah, we did like probably about, because we went with the extra story, it came out to be about our usual time. But it's
Yeah.
nice that you turned me on to this charging thing in Reddit, because I had no idea they were doing that. So
Oh,
they've
yeah.
started doing it already, or it's soon to happen.
Yeah, it's soon to happen.
Okay.
It's there. They're
Thanks,
going
Milton.
Twitter.
Thanks, Milton. Very much appreciated, sir. So, you did an excellent job tonight, sir, and you didn't even drive us crazy with lights.
Oh, is it live?
Yes, we're still live.
Oh, I was about to like, hey, you're welcome. But all right, we're still live.
Okay. So lighten up, will you? Oh, I couldn't resist that. All right. Anyway, folks, we're done for the night, and as usual, Ted made it worth being here, and he taught us all something. Oh, Slow-Mo, thanks for being here, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you next week, and love to have you guys here.
You guys have a good weekend.
All right, everybody, I hope have a very blessed weekend. And when I remember, I always say, let's remember we all do better when we love each other. So, going to end